Alright folks, what the hell did Deadpool do? In the recent April Fool's Secret Lair, we were given Deadpool trading card, and in true Deadpool fashion, he's caused all sorts of havoc on the game already, specifically in my end of the swimming pool. Let's give a read. Deadpool is a 4-mana 5/3 mutant mercenary hero that says, as Deadpool enters, you may exchange his text box and another creature's. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 3 life. 3, sacrifice this creature, each other player draws a card. And naturally, the Merc with a Mouth is a tricky one. Like Zancha or Sleeper Agent before her, this looks like a card that you don't want to have. And for Deadpool, honestly that's fitting. But he also reads like the uncard exchange of words as he swaps text boxes. So it's not so much Deadpool that's a massive burden to your board, but whoever is unfortunate enough to cross paths with him. This ability is very interesting for a few reasons, and the first of that is timing. See, Deadpool reads like a clone in that he does something as he enters, meaning there's no targeting, no responding, and no triggers at play here. There's no targeting or responding involved, so Hexproof or Shroud cannot save you. You also get the enters effect of anything you're stealing abilities from, since he's seen entering with the text he's stolen. If he resolves, it simply happens. And in this case, you hope that he doesn't happen to you because he's stealing the text box, this area only, of your biggest and best creature and turning that big beefy boy into dead weight. The other really neat part of this is that making a copy of Deadpool keeps his original text box and triggers, and that's where he starts messing with my favorite things in the game, clones. See, if you make a bunch of copies of Deadpool with a Blade of Selves or a Helm of the Host, he may or may not die to the legend rule, but he will still swap his text box with another creature. And we can use this to turn everything into Deadpools. Before we take a look at how, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to never miss a brew. Now with all this said, it's really where Deadpool starts to step on my toes. I love clones, especially in red, and he's made some of my favorite legends explode in price. Delina Wild Mage is now over $10. Ortheon Hero of Lavabrink has jumped to $15, and the Master Multiplied has exploded to over $15 for his ability to let you keep your Deadpool copies too. Fortunately, legends like Jaxus the Troublemaker or Rionia Fire Dancer haven't seen these exponential explosions in price yet, since they also make copies of everyone's favorite Merc, but I wouldn't expect they'd be far behind, that's for sure. These aren't the only cards that have seen an explosion in demand with Deadpool's release into the wild. No, Determined Iteration, one of my must-haves in a red clone deck, has boomed up to $30 thanks to this concept. And there's only been one printing of this enchantment in Capenna's commander decks, so it's rare in supply and high in demand. All this chaos outside of the game aside, what kind of chaos can we cause inside the game? Stealing the abilities of all of your opponent's creatures is the first step, so we'll be cloning the heck out of Deadpool. Spells like Molten Duplication, Twin Flame, and Heat Shimmer are just the start of it. It's these temporary clones that, whether they survive or not, still replace an opponent's creature with a lightning bolt to their face each upkeep. Saw in Half, from Deadpool's own same secret lair, is a good way to get more of this too. Sure, your original Deadpool has back to the command zone, but you're stealing 2 more other creatures' abilities and leaving your opponents with pale imitations. Cursed Mirror makes a great extra Deadpool here too, and again, whether it gets sacrificed to the legend rule or not, you're still deleting an opponent's creature's text box in favor of some real damage. And we've got plenty of enchantments that can make us copies of Deadpool too. Flame Shadow Conjuring, Molten Echoes, and Mirror March, to name a few, all make you 1 or more tokens of Deadpool on enters, which can all steal copies of opponent's creature's text boxes. And Echoing Assault, a super underrated enchantment from Bloomborough Commander, can help you do this every turn if you're brave enough to attack with Deadpool too. Now that concept, making copies on attack, is where Myriad comes in. Myriad is an ability that says, whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than the defending player, you may create a token copy that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Exile the tokens at the end of combat. We can use this effect, like Blade of Selves, to give that ability to Deadpool, meaning that on attack, we can make 2 more Deadpools to steal 2 more text boxes. Bonus. And it's this that gives us an interesting option. How about we steal the text box from our own creatures? I mentioned the Master Multiplied, but what happens if Deadpool stole his text box? We'd get a Parade of Fools, a cascading cock-up of clowns, an idiot avalanche every turn. We can include other Myriad creatures in our deck like Genasi Enforcers, Eltruel Survivors, or the new Goldlast Triad, all in the hopes of stealing their Myriad abilities for ourselves and getting many, many more Deadpool clones at our disposal. But those clones don't always have to be disposable, no. We could use Mirror Gallery or Mirror Box to keep our Deadpool clones around. These let us ignore the legend rule, meaning our clone Deadpools wreak havoc ad infinitum. We could also make non-legendary copies of Deadpool with a Helm of the Host, give a non-legendary Deadpool Myriad, then keep going and going. We could also use some blink effects to reset our Deadpools or the creature Deadpool has stolen text boxes from, with a Conjurer's Closet or a Sword of Blink and Ramp. This lets us harmlessly take our own creature's text boxes or trade up for the next best thing on the battlefield. And worst case scenario, we sacrifice a Deadpool clone or a creature that's no longer useful to a Goblin Bombardment, Ashnod's Altar, or Phyrexian Altar for fun and profit. We could also use a bevy of scam effects like Feigned Death, Malakir Rebirth, or Not Dead After All to trade up Deadpool effects, or just dodge board wipes and other removal. Just keep in mind, if there's no other creatures on the battlefield, Deadpool's stuck with his own miserable self for company. Ouch. Overall, I think this deck is fun and funny like Deadpool himself, but can get a bit annoying to play against. Again, much like Deadpool himself. Making 1,000,000 copies of a creature is 1000% in my wheelhouse though, and folks have been begging for my list, and you can find it linked in the description. My list is a deck built for your average table and may not be the fastest, as I've avoided tutors and much of the mana ramp you'd see from higher powered games. I don't think the deck would hurt for an Ancient Tomb or a Jeska's Will though. If you're looking to jump that power level up, that's where I'd start. Be sure to let me know in the comments though, what did you think about the Deadpool trading card, and what are you building with him? Did you get in on the Secret Lair or did you miss it? Share your deck lists with me in the comments. You can see my full build live now at my sponsor, MOXFIELD. MOXFIELD is the best deck building platform in the world and makes it easy to build decks to specific brackets thanks to their built-in automated bracket detection tools. Never misjudge your decks again, and be sure to follow my profile to never miss any of my brews. If you want to pick up any of the cards for this list, be sure to go to Card Trader. Use my promo code MECHANIC now for 5% off your orders from any TCG. Card Trader's zero system means you can get cards from all over the world with only one shipping fee. Save money and time today. And if you want to sell off your cards, whether they be unused or just duplicates, go to Card Conduit. If you're selling out of anything from Pokemon to Star Wars to Magic, get premium rates for your cards. Ship them unsorted today and get a check in the mail. If you were inspired to brew, you have to hit that subscribe button. Be a gem and check out some of the other videos on the channel right now too. And as always, good luck and have fun!